This is the Jay Pitt Show.
I'm sure people want to know your thoughts on this because it's everywhere in the news the last few days. The 50-year mortgage, Trump on Truth Social.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you call it a tweet or a post, something about a 50-year mortgage coming, which I think they exist in California.
The 40 years been around for a long time.
Yeah, but
That's what a lot of people don't realize. I mean, I was capable of brokering 40-year mortgages when I was in the mortgage business 20 years ago.
did you do any of them?
No. But, I mean, it was on the rate sheet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the product was available. 50-year, I mean.
guess let's hear the one pro, one con.
I mean, the con is obvious. The con is, well, I don't know. I don't know that we can limit it to one. So let's go because there's some nuance. And this is what, okay, this is what is required of a discussion like this, nuance. And it's so unfortunate because that is so absent from today's political discourse. The fact that Trump posted it makes it inherently political.
Right.
So I'm going to have a couple of pros and cons and some opinions that are very nuanced. I need you to understand that. And if you're opposed to nuance, if you're, an identity politician or you just want to be left to your own opinions, that's fine. You can turn the podcast off. You don't need to listen to me. Okay? But my opinions do not follow either side, and there is good and bad potentially to this whole concept. Okay, first, the cons are absolutely building equity slower, additional interest expense, and the potential for wildly increasing values artificially. Okay? Those are the three as I see them. And I think all three are almost a certainty. The real negative, the real downside of this and the timing of it is the fact that we're still under a severe inventory shortage. So introducing stimulus, which it would be, during inventory shortage makes prices run. Okay? So that I've said this in a number of ways. I've said it about the Biden era, $30,000 first-time home buyer tax credit. And it wouldn't be intellectually honest of me not to call this, under a different administration, exactly what it is, which is a stimulus. Okay, the concept is a stimulus to housing, which I don't know that we need. I think we need more inventory and slightly lower rates. You know what I mean? I don't need 3% rates. In the fives would be nice. High fives, not even 5 flat, like 5.75% interest would be phenomenal. Okay, so more inventory and slightly lower rates. That's what that would be equilibrium for me. Okay, so now let's talk about potential pros. Potential pros are that under the right timing with a balance in a more balanced supply and demand situation, where do we think this is going, guys? Like, prices are crazy high, and to return to affordability levels of 2019, insurmountable things must happen. Like, houses will never be, without serious change, as affordable as they were in 2019. Never. To the point where I'm considering buying homes in areas where I think my children might want to live, because home ownership might be insurmountable to them if I don't act now to make it more possible. I think you need to understand that we are a product of our times. Really interesting episode, and certain sides of the political aisle may not appreciate this, but I listened to Elon Musk on Joe Rogan. He just had a recent episode, and I think he makes a lot of good points about the fact that, the debt service, okay, that we have in this country is larger than our defense budget. And our defense budget is high. It's so much higher than the rest of the world, and yet the single, you know, behind entitlements, which no one, either side of the political aisle wants to limit in any way. And what I mean by that is Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, you know, SNAP benefits have been in the news quite a bit lately with the government shutdown. Nobody wants to limit or reduce any of that. But outside of those budget line items, next on our federal budget is debt service. We are, you know, $30+ trillion in debt. And if anything, I mean, he's a bit of a blowhard, and I don't agree with everything he says because a lot of it's conjecture, but I don't think anybody doubts Elon's intelligence. Right? His ability to grasp complex situations. And we will never meaningfully reduce our debt, okay, without really painful, really challenging, near impossible moves, like completely cutting out entitlements, like completely washing the federal government, like shuttering 95% of it. Like, it's not going to happen. Okay, so what do we do? What do we do as a country to get out of debt? His idea was through computing, AI, and, you know, like emerging technologies, we have to grow our way out. And that's highly risky and highly unlikely. So it kind of goes back to the like same discussion we're having with the 50-year mortgage, right?
It solves nothing.
It solves nothing.
I think that's what bothered me the most about his post about it was like it was posted as like this will make, you know, mortgage payments more affordable, which like, yeah, I guess you'll be able to afford a house, but houses are going to get so much more expensive.
Okay, so let me ask you this then, Ryan. Let me ask you this then, because yeah, I mean, I think it's probably true. I don't tend to spend a lot of time wondering what Trump is trying to accomplish because it doesn't help me. But like, what's better? Renting and building no equity in a rental market that continues to appreciate at an obscene rate, or taking out a 50-year mortgage and, albeit at a much slower rate, building some equity?
The second option.
The second option, which, yeah, a 50-year mortgage compared to a 30 sounds stupid. It sounds stupid. Why would you do that? I can maybe illustrate.
I mean, you still
one
get
reason
the
why.
appreciation on the full value of the home.
So should you be a renter forever or take out a 50-year mortgage? If those are your choices, I think there are still plenty of opportunities for younger homeowners or would-be homeowners to buy much more modest housing options and take out 30-year mortgages on FHA or conventional 30-year mortgages and still build equity, and then use that to grow your way into upgraded purchases with more equity built. And there are smart decisions that you can make. But people don't seem to want to make those decisions.
So I had a question for you on this. Like, do you think it would hurt the rental market?
No, I don't, because I think it makes. I mean that this is purely speculative, and I could be entirely wrong. I think you're going to see investors make use of it if it's available, because what they understand is that it's a tool. And you know, you could probably make the 30-year payment on a 50-year mortgage for a few years and retire principal faster than you would.
Yeah.
With a regular 30-year mortgage, and your debt to income ratio is much lower, and then you could acquire more property.
Yeah. When I first saw it too, I was wondering if this would be just for retail buyers or for investors as well.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't see how you could restrict it. Only who knows? Maybe you could. I don't know. I don't think it hurts the rental market because I think this certain segment of the population is just not quite as interested in owning anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know. Trump has this way of just like parachuting into conversations that we didn't know that we needed to have and just completely setting them ablaze, and then everybody just talks about it.
Yep.
I suppose that is a unique skill. But I mean, something's going to have to be done about affordability, Ryan, and nobody has a good answer for it.
It's because I don't think there is one.
There isn't an answer. And you know what? I mean, Trump is a big part of the problem, but so is every other politician that's had any, that has sat in a Senate or House of Representatives seat or the presidency for the past 50 years.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just no, like, the can has been kicked so far down the road that, we're going to have to lap the world over 4x on emerging technology just to be able to deal. But here's the problem. It's one of those games where the rest of the world needs us. If our economy collapses, so does everyone else's.
I think we need a slight alien invasion to bring the whole world together. Just a slight
one that doesn't make us extinct.
Yeah. Not like the movies, just like a slight.
Not
they're here, got them.
No Independence Day.
Yeah, no. Great movie though. Great movie.
It was a great movie. I don't know, man. I'm not. Here's, if you're listening to this and this sounds very doom and gloom, here's my advice to you. Okay, it's my advice to realtors, because our whole audience is realtors. It's the same thing. It's not that hard to beat your competition. Okay, just be smart. Okay, be diligent. Be hardworking. Right. Find the advantages that exist. I was telling somebody the other day in the office in this discussion about the 50-year mortgage that when I first bought a home, I took an interest-only mortgage. I bought my first house in 2005. Okay, and the writing was on the wall about the mortgage kind of crisis. They had this thing called pay option arms. Did you ever hear about a pay option arm? You could make a negative AM payment. You could make a payment that was less than interest only on these types of loans. Now, I didn't take one of those. I took an interest only note, which meant it was simple interest. I paid back interest only. That was the required payment, was whatever the interest accrued was on a monthly basis. And I paid the 30-year fixed rate payment on an interest only mortgage for 2 years. And if you do the math, I retired more debt in 2 years than I would have with a 30-year fixed.
Wow.
And then I refied. Right?
Yeah.
And so there are ways, okay, it takes a little bit of intelligence, a little bit of understanding of math with most of these situations. And I came out ahead. I came out a few $1,000s ahead, making a 30-year fixed rate payment because of the simple way that amortization works. Amortization is not your friend. It's the bank's friend. Amortization is the bank's friend because it delays principal reduction. It front loads interest, right? So, take an interest only note and pay the same monthly payment where the amount in excess of the interest goes directly towards principal and do it every month for 2 years. You come out ahead than what you would have with an amortized loan.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy. Okay. And so there's a way with this. Okay. So I got an idea. I take 30-year mortgages on every one of my rental properties I purchase. Why? Do I want to keep those loans for 30 years? No. I want the low DTI that when I go to the bank and ask to borrow more money to buy another piece of rental property, that they don't think so hard about it.
You think you would refile your properties to a 50-year?
No, of course not. Because I'm going to pay them off.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm 15 years into some of these. So you know what I am going to do when I stop acquiring? I'm going to take all the excess positive cash flow and attack the mortgage with the highest interest rate and pay it off as fast as possible. And then guess what? When that one's paid off and no more payment exists on that property, then another $600, $700, $800 a month is going to go to positive cash flow, and I'm going to have that much more to attack the next highest interest. It's called a debt cascade.
Yeah.
A guy by the name of Dave Ramsey made that popular, right? So not a fan of all of his stuff, but that's a pretty smart idea.
Yeah.
Okay. So you pay off the second one faster than you pay off the first, and the third faster than the second, and the fourth faster than the third. And next thing you know, you're debt free.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is no different. Okay. And I'm here to tell you, I guess my final answer on the 50-year mortgage is if you're a young person or you're an agent working with young people trying to buy their first home, help them buy something modest and delay the gratification of having their dream home for a few years, okay, while paying significantly less on a mortgage than they would for rent, okay, because that is the situation, okay, and then sell and bank 30, 40, 50,000 in equity because of appreciation and debt service, and then take that money and buy something slightly less modest, slightly nicer, and do the same thing again after another 2 to 3 years with zero tax implications, because if you make it your primary residence, you don't owe capital gains tax for 2 years if you live there. Okay, do that a few times and you'll be in a significant equity position in a 30-year or 15 even, 15-year mortgage on your dream home after 6-8 years. And it's just simple. Those willing to do today what no one else will be able to do tomorrow what no one else can. And it's just that simple. Okay? I don't know who said that, but it's a pretty damn wise quote. I'm going to look it up now. My dad used to say that. And it's somebody famous, I'm pretty sure.
A fortune cookie saying.
It's better than that. But if you're willing to make some sacrifices and delay your gratification of buying your dream home, then none of this shit matters. You don't need a 50-year mortgage. Okay? We were talking about a client that is slow rolling her first purchase, telling our agent that she wants to live at home and save on rent. Well, the house she wants to buy is at 20% down is going to be a $60,000 down payment. How are you? Okay, so let's say you paid $1,000 in rent per month, which is pretty modest these days, right? $1,000 a month?
Yeah.
Very modest place for $1,000 a month.
5 years.
5 years, it will take you. What's the house you want to buy today going to cost in 5 years?
And let's be honest, too, somebody saving that's probably going to be spending a little extra cash instead of
course.
saving it all.
When they put $1,000 a month in the bank account, they're going to start looking at that vacation they haven't taken.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to start looking at that old beat up car that they're driving and want. So it's not going to be 5 years. But even if it was, if they were 100% disciplined, what's the house that they want today going to be priced at in 5 years relative to today?
Yeah, I mean, you're
$100 grand more.
Have to save longer than 5 years.
You're going to have to save 80 grand instead of 60.
Yeah.
So that's another 20 months if you don't spend anything. You got to delay gratification almost another 2 years to get there.
Yeah, and
just based on appreciation.
Then you're in your 30s.
Then you're cooked. You're absolutely cooked. The rationale doesn't hold.
Yeah.
So anyway,
well, that's why we're seeing in like all the data, and we've talked about it on here. More and more people are living at home longer and longer post college.
Okay, so this is where I come out with pros on a 50-year mortgage. Is it better to live at home or is it better to take a 50-year mortgage? I mean, you see what I'm saying?
50-year mortgage, I would say.
If it gets more people to be homeowners, now I understand that it could potentially make prices run, but that will require a significant uptake.
Yeah.
To get prices to run. So I don't even really believe that.
Yeah, I think a very small percentage of people would use the 50-year.
Absolutely. Do you know? I mean, you could say the same thing about ARMs, Ryan. You can say the same thing about ARMs. Oh, it's just going to make prices go up because more people are going to buy houses and there's not any inventory. Nobody takes ARMs.
Yeah, but I think the thing about ARMs is people are scared about the.
I mean, I get that. Well, I mean,
the 50 years fixed.
Okay, so think. Hold on, we got to do the math here. Look at the max. Look at the max increases on ARMs. Okay, and compare the extra interest paid to the extra interest paid on an additional 20 years in a mortgage.
Yeah.
The more expensive mortgage is the 50-year by far.
Yeah,
it's by far more expensive than a 5-year ARM.
I'm just talking about how people's brains work, though. Like they're not going to do the math.
No, they're not going to do the math. If they did the math, they'd take the ARM.
They're going to do what makes themselves feel more secure.
If they did the math, they'd take the ARM. Just like I took the interest-only payment.
I've been saying for forever people should do adjustable rate mortgages more often.
They absolutely should. And I'm just saying, like, no, it's not the end-all be-all. Even if Trump said it was or acted like it was or people assume that he acted like it was. I don't know because I don't pay attention to him. Okay, what I know is that something's got to be done about affordability and nobody's got a good answer. You know? Nobody's got a good answer. Like I will tell you, okay, so here's a great example. What makes prices become more affordable? Lack of regulation and more competition. Okay? That's how economics works. Okay? Why is your television a third of what it cost 5 years ago?
Technology.
Competition and lack of regulation, right? So regulation is nothing but artificial cost imposed upon a service provider or a producer of product, right? So what we really should be doing is reducing reducing the requirements of home builders to be able to put inventory out. If we did that, then we would have more supply and there would be more competition, and the prices of homes, I don't know necessarily would come down, but they would slow the appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then you could offer them a 50-year mortgage and nobody would take it.
I think a lot of first-time home buyers might start, but I mean, we don't know if this is even going to happen. So this is just complete hypothetical conversation that led into some other good discussions. So.
It absolutely does, and for that I appreciate the sentiment. It's not the answer, but it's not the answer either. Yeah. You know, it's not the problem. Let's put it that way. It's not the answer, but it's not the problem.